The next section is our safety interlocks, and here we have a fire alarm active, PX unit fault, gas safety active, and a gas detected. Self-explanatory, but the fire alarm goes off, it will shut down all gas plant and ventilation plant. Pressurisation unit fault goes, that will shut down all wet plant, which is boilers and pumps, and you'll have to investigate the reason for these faults. Gas safety active, that will shut down the gas to the building, that's the plant room and the kitchen, and that goes off if any of the safety devices that are linked into that circuit are activated. That includes emergency stops at the exit to the plant room, thermal links above each boiler and burner, and also we have 2 gas detectors in this plant room, one for natural gas and one for CO detection. When an alarm happens, this will indicate the number of alarms, and the unit will have a flashing light here and an alarm symbol at the top in the centre, signifying an alarm. The next item you perhaps need to access will be the operating times. Again, this is selected by pressing operating times. You want to select the plant room CP, and then you'll have a choice of 3 times which you'll need to access for this building. The building heating, the kitchen heating and vent, and the domestic hot water. This is the other end of the first floor plant room, and here we have the Cat 5 booster set, which gives you pressurised water for the building, for watering plants, things like that, that's separate to the main building water supply. This is monitored by the BMS system for a fault only, but it's controlled by its own controller down here. Adjacent to this is the air handling unit for the kitchen, and also the small control panel for that. This is linked to the BMS system, but it has dedicated controls for just the air handling unit. On here we have the supply healthy lamp, and again another lamp test button. Adjacent to that we have the fire alarm active status, which again is linked to the main control panel. If that goes off, this will also go off. Just to reiterate, if that goes off, the air equipment will shut down to stop providing air to the fire. Adjacent to this we have a warning lamp, not a fault lamp, for the filter dirty. There's a filter in the supply unit that will get clogged with dirt and dust that comes in from the outside air. As that gets dirtier, it will eventually create a lamp here indicating that the filters will need to be changed or cleaned. We have a remote alarm unit which will indicate with a visual and an audible alarm that the BMS system has logged an alarm. This will always be on whilst the alarm is active, but it can be muted by pressing the mute button. Adjacent to this we have the BMS plant extension. If you don't want to change the times on the BMS system, but you would like the building heating to be on and the ventilation in the kitchen to run for another 2 hours, say, after your normal closing time of say 3 PM, you can just set the extra time by this push button. Press it till it lights the number of required extra hours you need. This gives you up to 6 hours, and then that's set on, and that will give you 5 hours after your normal building end time. To reset this, you can just press the set button till it reverses back to off, and that's shown by the on-off lamp there. We're now down in the kitchen, which is on the ground floor adjacent to the main hall, and this is the kitchen gas proving unit. This is a dedicated unit that will allow gas to the cooker and the appliances in the kitchen. To get the gas on, you will have to switch the key switch from the off to the on position. What this does is then monitor the airflow from the air handling unit, which is supplied by contact from the BMS, and it looks for the supply and extract fan status, and it will make sure that we've got a fan flow before it allows gas through. At the moment the fans are off, so it won't allow the gas to be on. If the fans were on, these lights will be solid green. Because it's off, they give you a flashing green. We also have an emergency stop symbol, and again, if something of an emergency in the kitchen where you need to shut the gas off, you can hit that. That will shut the gas off and give an emergency stop status and the audible alarm. That's reset by twisting the knob in the clockwise direction, which releases the emergency stop. Switching off and switching back on will reset the unit, and then it'll carry out its checks on the fans. If the fans are running, like I said, these go solid green and will give gas. There is another emergency stop located at the other end of the kitchen near the far sink, which will provide the same function as this. This is the main incoming services room, which is accessed from adjacent to reception from outside the building. In here is where the mains electricity comes in from the supplier and is distributed to the plant room main panel board. Adjacent to this is the main gas incomer, and this is the building gas valve, which shuts off all gas to the building in the event of a gas detected fire alarm or an emergency knock-off, as shown in the plant room. At the back in the corner is the kitchen gas valve, which feeds gas to the kitchen, and that is the one that's controlled from the kitchen gas unit. Here is where the mains cold water comes in, and its main isolation down the bottom. It also has isolation valves further up, which are less accessible. This is the one. And you also have your Cat 5 booster supply coming in there as well at the back, but that can be isolated from the booster set in the plant room. This is the incoming services room.
This is your main panel board, which is fed from the LV intake direct from UK Power Networks installation at ground floor, which you will never need to go to. Inside the board are a number of moulded case breakers which relate to each one of these meters on the left hand side. They are plant room external lighting, which is the distribution board alongside us, hall distribution board, kitchen distribution board, lift supply, ground floor west, first floor west, first floor east, first floor comms, and ground floor east. I will show you where these are located on a separate video at a different time. Inside the distribution board, inside the distribution board, each of the moulded case breakers relate to what they are labelled as. So the very first one is the plant room and external lighting distribution board, again alongside in the plant room. It is very rare, but should you lose all power to that distribution board, plant room and external lighting DB, this breaker may have tripped. To reset the breaker, it will be in the mid position. You push it hard to the left and then extreme to the right, and that will reset the breaker. Everyone has its own breaker, and again they relate to distribution boards out in the field. In the event of full loss of power throughout the entire building, it's quite possible that the main breaker switch that feeds the entire panel may have tripped. It's an unlikely scenario, but it's well worth knowing about. Okay, we're in F42 where I'm going to explain how the lighting system works. This switch here is very, very easy to operate. You have a push to make switch which brings the lights on. You can press the button and hold it down, and it will take the first two lights by the window only into a dimming mode. You don't have to do that. In the corner of the room, which I'll explain in a minute, is an absence detector and daylight sensing device. So the two lights at the window will dim automatically. If you want to raise them lights, simply hold them down again and the first two will come up to full brightness and stay there. The second switch is for the teacher's wall, and that turns that one row off where the teacher is teaching. It's also got its own switch on the dado which can be operated from either the teacher's wall or as you enter the room. The third switch is for the caretaker. That is a key switch, and there is one located in all classrooms which puts the emergency light at the door into emergency mode, and then you can leave that for its 3-hour duration test once every 3 months. That's it. A simple demonstration of too much CO2 in the room is if you blow onto this device here, and eventually the ventilation dampers will open to allow more air in, and it will ramp up the fan, and you will see the boost green light go on. After 20 minutes, it will reset itself to the automatic mode, so you do not have to touch anything on this whatsoever. Now this process takes a few seconds because the damper is now opening to allow more clean air into the room. It may take up to about 2 to 3 minutes. That is now opened fully, and the fan has gone into boost mode, which is aiding ventilation into the room.
The fire alarm panel is here. You've got a silence and a reset, so if you have any activations you need to silence the alarm first, see where the fire is, which will come up on this screen, go and investigate. If it's not a real fire, it's a false alarm, just come back and try a reset. Obviously if it's a full alarm, if you've silenced it, you can hit any point throughout the building and it'll set the fire alarm back off again. Now what we need to do now is just demonstrate a call point going into activation. Right, the call point we're demonstrating today is the one in the reception foyer. All call points throughout the building have got the protective flaps, so if someone wants to activate it, they pull the flap, they just push the call point, the red light will come on the call point and the fire alarm will all go off. To reset this, you need to put your key in the bottom, pull the flap down, push it back up, then you go to the fire alarm and you can press silence and reset. On a weekly test, activate the call point. When you come to the panel, it will tell you fire started in zone 1, which you've got your zone chart here that tells you your areas, and then it'll say main entrance doors and ground floor classroom side, so anything this side, and then you've got main entrance doors. So once you're happy it's a false alarm or a test, you just press your silence alarms and reset.
Hi, my name's Anthony from Direct Security, and I'm going to show you how to use the alarm system that we've got fitted here today. Right, this is a Texacom security alarm system. You have 2 ways of turning it on and off, i.e. a code or a proximity tag. The proximity tag you'll put to the left hand side of the screen, because just behind there is where the proximity reader is. So if you're about to exit the building now, if you have a tag, you can present the tag once to the left hand side of the screen. It will then say, do you want to arm the system? You put it back again and it will start the setting procedure. Unfortunately at the moment there's workmen in the building, it won't set. The system is waiting for the entrance doors to open and then close. It's not time related. So this is one way I can show you, if you've forgotten something before you've gone out the doors and you've started the setting procedure, if you come back and present the tag, it will ask you, do you want to cancel the exit? Present the tag one more time and it will cancel the exit. You can now go and get whatever you've forgotten and come back and start again.
If you lift up this panel here, on the left hand side you've got a button to turn the oven on. When you press the button you'll see a small flash on the screen and that's it powering up, so just give it 10 seconds so it will look like it's not powering up, but give it 10 seconds it will start loading, okay? Quickly into it, so it's a 10 tray combi oven, 1-1 Gastronom with a multi-point core probe inside there. It's a self-cleaning oven with the rotor arm at the top here, and there's also rotor arms behind the fan guard that cleans. There's a couple of manual elements of cleaning that you need to keep on top of. One, it just with the gasket around the chamber. Just make sure you're lightly wiping that down just with warm water. Drip tray at the bottom here just slides out, and that can go be hand washed or go through a dishwasher. Okay, and then on your door you've got a couple of catches top and bottom. Just releases the door, and then you've got another drip tray inside here which just comes out. Okay, and again it can be hand washed or go through the dishwasher. When you put this one back in, you just need to make sure that the flume there is going into the drip tray. Otherwise you're going to end up with water over the floor at some points, okay?